Wait! Stop before you toss those banana peels and coffee grounds in the trash. These two can feed your plants perfectly. But if used the wrong way, they will ruin your entire pot. In this video, I'll show you how to turn them into a clean, powerful liquid fertilizer that your plants can absorb almost instantly. Look closely at what I'm holding. Sour-smelling banana peels and moldy coffee grounds. Our natural reflex is to either toss them in the trash or, even worse, dump them directly at the base of a plant, thinking it's free fertilizer. But the bitter truth is, you aren't fertilizing the plant. You are dumping trash on it, both literally and biologically. Within days, this well-intentioned action invites an army of ants, fruit flies, and white mold to attack the roots, causing leaves to yellow and growth to stall. The mistake isn't the nutrients. It's forcing a delicate root system to do the work of a trash grinder and a high-temperature compost pile at the same time. This video is for those who are passionate about their gardens but want to do it the right way. I'm not telling you to throw away your coffee grounds or banana peels. Instead, I will show you how to maximize every milligram of their nutrients through a cleaner, more scientific method. We are going to stop applying raw trash and start manufacturing liquid biological serums that roots can absorb instantly. It's time to stop working on instinct and start thinking like a true soil architect. Quick practice. Extraction formula. All right, we're going to take action immediately. Remember the first rule of a scientific gardener. Show, don't just tell. Do it directly to see the mechanism clearly. We'll start with banana peels. Step 1. Extracting potassium from banana peels. I have here 3 banana peels just peeled from breakfast. Observe how I process them. I won't leave the peels in large pieces like this to soak in water. Why? Pick up your knife and start cutting them into tiny slices, ideally under 0.2 inches. Why go through the trouble of cutting them so small? This isn't a demonstration of knife skills, it's a problem of surface physics. When you cut a banana peel into hundreds of tiny pieces under 0.2 inches, you are increasing the contact area between the banana peel cells and the water dozens of times over. Water will easily seep into each severed cell wall, releasing intracellular breakdown enzymes and dissolving minerals much faster than if you left a large piece of peel. If you leave the peel whole, the osmosis process will be extremely slow, and before the potassium has a chance to escape, your water will already be attacked by foul fermentation bacteria. Now for the golden formula and ratio for potassium serum. Ratio. For every 1 ounce of finely chopped banana peels, you will need 2 cups of filtered water. Water type. Use filtered water or tap water that has been left outdoors for at least 24 hours to let all the chlorine evaporate. Chlorine in municipal tap water is the genocidal enemy of the beneficial local microorganisms we want to awaken. Put all the chopped banana peels into a glass jar, pour in the water, and cover the lid loosely. Do not tighten it to avoid the buildup of gas generated from the initial cellular respiration. Optimal soaking time. Only 6 to 12 hours at a room temperature of about 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not soak for longer than 24 hours in an oxygen-free environment, because after this mark, anaerobic fermentation will begin to take over, producing lactic acid and unpleasant foul odors, while lowering the pH of the solution to a level that can shock the plant roots. Step 2. Extracting nitrogen and minerals from coffee grounds. Now, we move on to coffee grounds. This is the black gold of the kitchen, but also the most dangerous thing if used incorrectly. Look at these coffee grounds of mine. See how they are completely fluffy and dry? Touch them. They aren't sticky at all. There are no clumps, and absolutely no strands of mold. The first rule of survival: never ever use soaking wet coffee grounds straight from the coffee machine for direct soaking if you don't intend to use them immediately. Wet coffee grounds contain a massive amount of water and easily decomposable organic compounds. If you leave them in a closed container for just 24 hours, anaerobic mold spores present in the air will attack and grow at a dizzying speed. That is why your box of coffee grounds often has an unpleasant, musty, foul smell. Spread the coffee grounds thin on a tray and dry them under the sun or in an oven at low temperature until they are completely dry before storing or processing. Now for the nitrogen serum extraction formula. Ratio: use 2 tablespoons (TBSP) of dried coffee grounds for every 1 quart of filtered water. Procedure: put the coffee grounds in a glass jar, pour in the filtered water, and stir vigorously for 1 minute to ensure the water thoroughly penetrates every superfine coffee particle. Optimal soaking time: unlike banana peels, coffee grounds need a longer soaking time, ideally exactly 24 hours. The structure of coffee grounds consists of extremely stable cellulose particles that have been through high temperature and pressure during brewing. Therefore, the nitrogen compounds and minerals need more time to diffuse into the water environment. Keep this soaking jar in a dark, cool place, away from direct sunlight. Why liquid form? At this point, many of you surely wonder, why do I have to go through the trouble of cutting, measuring water, and then waiting for hours to filter the water for irrigation? Why not just throw the coffee grounds and banana peels at the base of the plant and pour water over them? They'll decompose eventually, won't they? Let me give you a punchline, an ultimate truth in soil biology that every professional gardener must keep in mind. Plants don't have teeth. Their root systems cannot chew or swallow any piece of solid organic matter, no matter how small it is. All nutrients, from macronutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, to trace elements like iron, magnesium, and zinc, can only pass through the cell membrane of the root hairs when and only when they have been completely dissolved as free ions in the soil solution. When you throw a raw piece of banana peel at the base of a plant, your plant is completely helpless in accessing the potassium source inside it. It has to stand there and wait. Wait for whom? Wait for the decomposers. First ants and fruit flies come to tear it apart. Then saprophytic molds come to secrete breakdown enzymes. And finally, soil bacteria convert complex organic compounds into simple inorganic salts. This process in nature takes from 4 to 8 weeks, depending on soil temperature and moisture. But during those 8 weeks, what happens to your garden? When raw, undecomposed organic matter sits directly in the potting soil, it triggers a phenomenon called nitrogen tie-up, also known as temporary nitrogen hunger. Soil microorganisms, upon detecting a rich carbon source from coffee grounds or banana peels, will immediately multiply in massive numbers to decompose them. To build their own cells, these microorganisms need a huge amount of nitrogen. They will suck up all the free nitrogen available in the soil around the plant roots. The result is that your plant falls into a state of severe nutritional deficiency, leaves starting to yellow from the base up, even though the soil surface above is full of raw fertilizer. The more fresh coffee grounds you dump in, the faster the plant yellows, not to mention osmotic pressure. When coffee grounds decompose directly around the roots, they create a zone with a locally high concentration of dissolved organic matter. This reverses the direction of water movement. Instead of water from the soil entering the roots, water from the root cells will be sucked back out to balance the concentration, causing root burn and biological wilting. By using the short-term liquid extraction method of 6 to 24 hours, we have completely solved all these risks. We only take out the most easily soluble nutrients, completely removing the raw organic matter, the thing that causes nitrogen hunger and attracts destructive insects. Look at these actual scientific numbers from U.S. agricultural laboratories. Banana peels. An average banana peel contains about 1,700 milligrams of potassium per 100 grams of dry weight. This potassium content is nearly 4 times higher than the fruit flesh inside that we eat. Notably, most of this potassium exists in the form of highly mobile, soluble organic salts. When you soak chopped banana peels in water correctly, you have extracted over 80% of this easily digestible potassium into the solution after just 12 hours. Coffee grounds contain about 2% nitrogen by dry weight, equivalent to the nutrient content of premium bagged cow or sheep manure sold in stores. Additionally, it contains about 0.3% phosphorus and 0.2% potassium, along with an extremely high magnesium content that activates the photosynthesis process, creating chlorophyll that gives plant leaves a deep green, glossy, natural color. By converting them to liquid form, you are providing the plant with a ready-to-eat nutrient source that is safe, effective, and relieves the root system from the pressure of processing waste. Upgrade, mix and filtration formula. If you think just watering with simple banana water or coffee water was good, then this part will take you to a new level as an architect. We will proceed to refine and upgrade these biological serums into specialized formulas for each plant's needs. The critical filtration. Observe this step carefully. I place the double-layer cheesecloth on the funnel and start pouring the banana-soaking water through. Why is this filtration step the boundary between a professional gardener and an amateur? Many people dismissively think that a little banana residue or coffee grounds falling into the soil doesn't matter. But in reality, these superfine residue particles, when clinging to the surface of the potting soil, will create a thin organic film, clogging the pore spaces between soil particles. This film prevents the root system's oxygen exchange process, turning the surrounding soil environment into an anaerobic one. At the same time, this is the banquet, inviting fruit flies, fungus gnats, to lay eggs. The larvae of the fruit flies, after hatching from these residue particles, will start eating fungal hyphae and directly attack the delicate root hairs of the plant. The cleaner you filter, the safer your solution is, and the longer it can be stored in the refrigerator without worrying about spoilage. Mix Formula 1, Flower and Fruit Combo, the Potassium Booster. When your tomato plant, pepper plant, or rose bush begins to show its first tiny flower buds, they enter a stage of extreme potassium thirst to transport starch, form solid flower structures, and increase fruit-setting capability. This is when we use this mix formula. Main ingredient: 1 cup of filtered banana huyet than. Upgrade catalyst: 1 teaspoon TSP of pure wood ash, the kind of ash from natural wood without chemical mixtures or artificial fuels. Dilution solvent: 1 gallon of filtered water, 128 fluid ounces. Why wood ash? Wood ash contains from 5% to 7% potassium, and especially an extremely abundant calcium content in the form of calcium carbonate, CaCO3. When you combine calcium from wood ash with the easily digestible potassium source from banana peels, you create a perfect formula to prevent blossom end rot in tomatoes and peppers, a common disease caused by calcium deficiency during the rapid fruit tissue development stage. Mix Formula 2, Recovery and Biomass Growth Combo, the Growth Elixir. If you have indoor houseplants that have become stunted after winter, or plants that prefer mild acidity such as roses, hydrangeas, or orchids that need strong leaf development, this is the formula for you. Main ingredient: 1 cup of filtered coffee. Combination agent: 1 cup of rice water. Use the water from the very first wash, which contains many B vitamins, natural starch, and minerals. Dilution solvent: 1 gallon of filtered water. The combination of organic nitrogen in coffee and the B vitamin groups, especially B1, B3, B6, in rice water, acts as a powerful cell division stimulant for the root cells. It promotes fine roots to grow wider, to absorb nutrients more effectively. Ultimate upgrade option: integrating trichoderma. If you have organic trichoderma antagonist fungus preparation available in your shed, add a very small amount, just the size of a toothpick tip, to the solution jar after it has been diluted with water. Trichoderma is a beneficial fungus species capable of parasitizing and destroying soil-borne pathogenic fungi, such as Pythium or Phytophthora. When you introduce trichoderma into a solution rich in dissolved nutrients from bananas and coffee, you are providing them with an excellent starter fuel so they can quickly establish a biological protective barrier around the plant's roots as soon as it is watered into the soil. Schedule and targets. An architect never builds a house without technical drawings, and a scientific gardener never fertilizes without a specific schedule. Homemade organic nutrition is not something you can water whenever you want, or as much as possible. Remember the core rule: a little less is better than a little too much. 1. The dilution rule. 2. Before watering any soaking serum on the plant, you must strictly follow the following dilution ratio. Dilution ratio: 1 part concentrated extraction solution mixed with 10 parts clean water. Visual identification. The color of the solution after dilution must reach a pale tea color state. If your solution still looks as dark as a cup of black coffee or strong tea, it is still too concentrated and has the potential to shock the potting plant roots. Targeted irrigation and schedule. 2. Categorize your plants to apply the correct formula. Potassium-loving group: tomatoes, peppers, strawberries, roses. Golden timing: apply the flower and fruit combo from when the plant starts showing the first flower buds until the end of the fruit-bearing process. Frequency: once a week. Why? Potassium helps regulate osmotic pressure in the fruit cells, enhances sugar accumulation, making the fruit sweeter, while strengthening the flower stalks to help reduce the flower and young fruit drop rate by up to 40%. Foliage plant group and mild acid-loving plants: peace lilies, beetle leaf, ferns, hydrangeas. Golden timing: apply the recovery combo during the spring and summer when the plant is focusing on its strongest leaf biomass development. Frequency: once every 2 weeks. Scientific fact: an agricultural study conducted at U.S. state universities on chrysanthemums showed that using compounds extracted from correctly processed and diluted coffee grounds can help increase the dry biomass of the plant by up to 98% compared to a control group that was not treated. The color of the plant leaves also maintains its healthy gloss longer thanks to optimally absorbed magnesium. Watering time during the day. Only water in the early morning, about 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., or late afternoon after the sun has set, after 5 p.m. Absolutely do not water organic nutrient solutions under the harsh noon sun. High soil temperature in the middle of the day combined with dissolved organic compounds can cause thermal irritation, damaging the sensitive root hairs and causing free nitrogen groups to easily evaporate into the air, before the plant has a chance to absorb them. And conclusion. When you watch that pale, tea-colored water seep into the ground, you realize that gardening isn't about chasing diseases with expensive chemicals. It's the art of understanding. Once you grasp how roots absorb nutrients and how microorganisms thrive, you'll never need industrial fertilizers again. Everything for a brilliant garden is already on your kitchen shelf, waiting in what you once called trash. It's simply a matter of having the patience to turn waste into a source of life. Start tomorrow. When you peel a banana or brew your coffee, don't throw the remains away. Chop the peel, dry the grounds, and engineer your first biological serum. Your plants will thank you with lush leaves and vibrant flowers within days. I'd love to hear about your experience with kitchen waste. Have you made these mistakes before? Or do you have your own secret recipe? Share your thoughts in the comments so we can grow together. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the science of the soil. Thank you for joining me. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next video.